What just happened? We told you. We predicted this. We predicted this. LSU will win this game 34-30.
We told you.
It didn't turn out 34-30. It turned out 32-31. You wanted Brian Kelly to go for two in week one. You wanted him to go for the win in week one. Did you want him to go for two against Nick Saban for the win? This is the pinnacle of college football. What did we just see? What did we just see? LSU is back, baby. LSU is back. That's what's going on right now. LSU is back. In a game that meant everything on the line. You saw all of our players put everything on the line themselves. The fans gave everything in that crowd. This is a night you will never forget as a Tiger fan, ever. And if you were lucky enough to be there in that stadium, damn. Unbelievable what we just witnessed. LSU pull out the win we predicted. LSU win 32-31 in overtime over number 6 Alabama to take control over the SEC West. Brian Kelly beats Nick Saban in year one. In year one, Brian Kelly beats Nick Saban, and it was exactly how we wrote it up. Pressuring Bryce Young into submission. Here, we got to turn on a light here. This is just nuts. I got to get some water as well. I'm going to be right back. Just 5 seconds. What did we just see? Mason Taylor wins the game for LSU. Jaden Daniels with one heroic play after another with the game-tying touchdown. And then we go for two. We go for the win. We say, this ends now, Bama. This ends now. You will never see an ending like that again. This was an unbelievable game, wire to wire. There's so much to dissect, so much to go through. But I gotta take a second because I'm with all of you right now. We just witnessed something historic, a masterpiece, a classic, a game you will never touch again in LSU Alabama history. This topped the 2019 game. And what a birthday present. This is today. It is my birthday, and so it was great to see LSU taking on Alabama. We're ranked number 10. People aren't giving us a chance, but I knew what this team could do all year. We predicted a 9-3 record preseason, and look what's going on. Just 1 second. I gotta take this call. Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up? Let's just go with steak. Or is DoorDash easier for you? I did not. Okay. Okay. All right. I love you. Drive safe. All right. See you soon. Had to figure out dinner. Had to figure out dinner. What did we just see? What did we just witness? Brian Kelly. Rivers. Brian Kelly just beat Nick Saban in year one. In year one, buddy. In year one. You are mine, Nick Saban. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? I believed. I have to toot some horns here. This is a team I knew would be able to be physical enough to match Alabama because they, a lot of these veterans did it last year, and they were not going to let anyone on that defense slide tonight and be, any less dominating or in their face. You saw Harold Perkins go off tonight. Harold Perkins went ham. Harold Perkins, I mean, what can you say about his performance tonight? I mean, his entire season has been just unassailably brilliant. But when you take into totality the moment, the pressure, everything that's on the line here in this game, and the performance we just witnessed from Harold Perkins to basically lead this defense, on numerous occasions when Bryce Young's starting to get going, Bryce Young gets shut the hell down by Harold Perkins. And then you saw BJ Ojolari going off. You saw Mekhi Wingo having yet again another beastly performance from Mekhi Wingo. Just controlling the interior, deflecting passes, whether they call them or not. Absolutely disrupting Bryce Young, pressuring Bryce Young, getting sacks on Bryce Young. You just saw an incredible performance defensively. Micah Baskerville, he was awesome as well tonight. You just cannot say enough about what Matt House has done for this defense. But really, where this game was won and lost was whether Jaden Daniels could command enough points from this offense, from himself. Jaden Daniels responded to all those questions. 95 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. And, the passing game, it was sloppy. He missed some throws, 22 of 32, 182, 2 touchdowns. But here's the thing. It doesn't mean a damn thing because who cares? He threw 2 perfect passes to Mason Taylor for those touchdowns. For the touchdown, and then for that 2-point conversion to win the game. And LSU, it doesn't matter how we're winning right now. I mean, LSU had the perfect recipe to pull off the win, and it still seemed like, it's going to be Bryce Young time. It's going to be Bryce Young time. And LSU's defense just refused to give in, refused to let that be how this game was going to play out. LSU gave Bryce Young 3 minutes, and so Bryce Young does what Bryce Young does. And, wins the game. No. We were not going to continue overtimes and continue it. And I kind of thought that in my head. Is Kelly going to want to win this now? And the second he called a timeout, you're thinking, no, Kelly's going to want to think about this and kick. Why leave it down to Brian Polian? You are not leaving this game up to Brian Polian. If it's Damian Ramos himself, I'm fine with that. But the whole organization of the thing, you can't. You just cannot. And so to have this be the way that this plays out, where Kelly's like, no, we're finishing this right now. And the second you see Mason Taylor release out of his route, I don't know about you. I knew that was a touchdown. I mean, sorry, a 2-point conversion, the score. I mean, I gotta put the game back on again. I mean, this is just crazy. Just nuts. This is just awesome. This is epic. Everything you want as an LSU fan, you saw tonight. You saw a team that fought from first quarter to last. You saw intense emotion, huge hits, turnovers. You saw heart. You saw passion, intensity, fire. You saw so many countless freshmen and young players stepping up all over the field. You saw Kayshawn Booty have a dynamic game tonight. Kayshawn Booty with 7 important catches for 51 yards. I think most of those were for first downs as well. Sorry. My head is killing me right now after that game. Are you serious? What did we just see? What did we just see? LSU. I mean, what does this mean? What does this mean? Tell me in the comment section. This is crazy. This is awesome. But you know what? This is where LSU should be. This is where LSU should be, and this is what it's about to restore the pride of a program. LSU aren't just a top 10 team now. LSU are a top 5 program now, and with the recruiting classes coming in, this is a program defining win times 1,000. Okay, you can pretty much sign, seal, and deliver the commitments of, Desmond Ricks, who is there. I've already felt like he was going to commit because of that declassification. And, I know my guy Ryan Yates is having a blast right now, going nuts on the sideline. Him and his family are there having a great time. Happy birthday to Ryan's father as well. I believe on the 4th was his birthday. Epic, epic to then be, in Baton Rouge, location of where your son's going to be playing his future, and to see that type of a game, that type of a finish. We're storming the field. I mean, what the emotion of this game, the back and forth of this game. I mean, are you spent? I feel like I'm spent. I've like have run a billion miles or something. Like, what the hell's gone on? My head feels like a brick of ice. November is the month where everyone separates themselves, where you say, hey, we are a championship squad. We aren't just a good team and we're looking like we're going in the right direction. No, we are contenders. LSU just proved that tonight. And who the hell is going to say otherwise now? All the talking about, well, LSU can kick and scream and drag and do whatever they want, but Alabama's still going to beat them. All that just falls away. And you look at it, the schedule. Who's going to beat LSU? Arkansas, A&M, UAB. Who is going to beat LSU? LSU are now going to be playing. It looks, unless there's a crazy surprise, for all intents and purposes, it looks as if LSU will be playing in the SEC championship game in Brian Kelly's first season. He came to LSU to beat Nick Saban. He does it in his first season. He came to LSU to change the culture. He does it in his first season. He came to LSU to establish a program identity that took LSU into the future while honoring the tradition of the past. He's done that in year 1. Brian Kelly wanted to assemble an all-star staff, kicked ass, took names on the sidelines, up in the booth, on the practice field, as well as on the recruiting trail. He's done it. He's established it in year 1. But to do this, I mean, this is Brian Kelly now in uncharted territory. This is something special. I mean, for a coach who has been coaching as long as he has outside of the anywhere close to the SEC, to come into the SEC, not only SEC, but the heart of the South in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and to take over the identity, but as well as take upon himself to be immersed in the identity that was already there and let that explode, let that get to the light, let that shine. Stringing this team together from the transfer portal, from freshmen on the 2022 class, and you saw how that paid off tonight. Will Campbell, Emory Jones, they didn't win every rep tonight. They just beat Alabama. They just out physicaled Alabama on the goal line. They just dominated Alabama at times. I understand there wasn't a ton of rushing yards, but when you look at those plays, they are physically overpowering their opponents at this age. We've got a few comments here. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. What are the people going to say? Poe English says, let's enjoy this moment. We can regroup tomorrow. To all the doubters, thank you. My skull is beating as well. Exactly. Exactly, my man. I'm going to try and even keep my voice down because I am just I mean, I've already had such a great birthday today. And to have it, I mean, it's not over yet, but to have that happen, to have that happen, we are lucky right now to be living in this age of LSU football. Brian Kelly is coming into LSU, turning it all around. And he just went toe to toe with Nick Saban in overtime and said, "Huh, okay, here's the thing, pal. We're gonna beat you with a 2-point fucking conversion right now. By the way, we might be letting some f bombs throw, whatever. Like it's that time. That's what we do. We are real. We're not trying to be offensive or anything like that. We just sometimes we might be swearing. So not safe for work or whatever the term might be if that offends you. But my God, so the last thing that should be on your mind right now is this is a wonderful moment, a historical moment in LSU history. Brian Kelly has not only won at Jordan Hare, won in the swamp, beaten a top 10 Ole Miss team. Now he beats Nick Saban in a manner that is just so ballsy. The cojones, the whatever you want to say. Brian Kelly is a badass motherfucker. I'm just gonna say it. Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly says, "You want me to go for two? I'm gonna go for two." Unbelievable. Tari Love says, "Let's go." Yes, yes, indeed. Let's go. Let's go. Davanka, my man, Davanka De Silva. He says, "Man, happy here in Sri Lanka. Nothing like beating Bama, Saban, and lastly, Eli Ricks." That's the thing. Eli Ricks had some costly penalties tonight, some costly pass interferences. He could not handle Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors posterized him, and then there was a few plays where it looked like Malik could have scored if Eli doesn't, rip him down like that. I really loved what I saw from LSU's receiving core with the little that they had to work with. They were producing. Brian Thomas Jr., I don't think had a single catchable target, but was still running dangerous routes. And Kayshawn, Malik, and then, of course, Mason Taylor tonight. Wow. The touchdown from Mason Taylor That teardrop pass from Jaden Daniels. How can you throw that pass any better? How can you throw that pass any better? I mean, at this point, you think LSU have lost the game when Alabama scored that touchdown to make it 24-17. When they score that touchdown where Bryce Young gets away from Harold, who's getting held, and Ali Gay misses him as well, and he just throws that touchdown. It's like, have we seen this script before? No, because LSU come right back and respond with just something disgusting. And then we go to overtime, and you're thinking, what the hell's next going to happen? And Alabama score first. And it looks like our defense are wearing down. And our defense had played such an unbelievable game, shut out Alabama for 3 quarters. The score is not indicative of LSU's defensive performance. Let me just tell you that. I mean, our corners were getting their hands in there, deflecting passes in the end zone. You saw Mekhi Garner. You saw Jarek Bernard Converse have an incredible game, interception inside the end zone, and then a bunch of just brilliant pass breakups. I mean, my God, wow, my head is just killing me. I am just wow. We got to look at our phone because we made a bet with a certain player on LSU saying if you guys beat Alabama like I'm predicting you will, you should you have to come on the show. You have to come on the post game show. Let's see if he's going to be held up to that. I'm so happy for these players. They played so fantastically, wire to wire. I mean, I you could pick out a few performances where you said, yeah, he should have been better or whatever. Then they still are making plays. And then there's some of these calls that took away some brilliant plays. Sage Ryan's strip, that was unbelievable play. Just not giving up and strips that ball. The ball, I mean, it gets taken away because as Brooks is possessing it with 2 hands, Latu, his legs are out of bounds and he touches the ball. And they say that he doesn't have enough possession. It was just crazy this game. It was just crazy. There was one call, one review after another. I mean, there was so much drama, so much back and forth madness in this game. It's almost hard to even dissect because where did the hell do you even? I mean, I guess you begin at the beginning, but really, it's just one thing after another with this game. Real, just a heavyweight fight between LSU and Alabama, and LSU not only stood up to Alabama from the beginning, starting well, controlling Alabama, controlling the game, making it like 7-3 forever. Uh, that was a statement of intent, and I was worried that LSU had not scored enough points when we had Alabama down. I was worried LSU had not stepped on the throat enough to finish him off, and I thought this could be a really bizarre half that might really piss us off. But then LSU come right out when they finally get the ball back. You know, Alabama went on like a drive that took forever. And they finally get the ball back, and the way that they were able to respond and keep marching down the field, moving the chains, showing that they're going to give Kayshon Boutte the ball, showing that they're going to threaten with Malik Neighbors, showing that it's everything that you wanted to see from this LSU team, from this LSU staff. They kept trusting in Harold Perkins even after he got banged up. They kept throwing him at Bryce Young. And here's the thing. Here's the reason why. Why wouldn't you? You have to. You cannot lose the. You rush your best player at Bryce. Bryce Young could not. I mean, he is going to be haunted by Harold Perkins. haunted by Harold Perkins in his dreams, in his nightmares for the rest of the time. Because whether it was Tyler Steen or McLaughlin or whoever up front, they could not handle Harold Perkins, no matter where he was rushing from. J.C. Latham was splayed out. LSU not only exposed every weakness in Alabama's team, they showed off every strength and really ability to fight against adversity, any adversity, and really to take control of games, be able to respond quickly when a team scores a go-ahead touchdown or whatever. This is the first game since LSU had a 3-0 lead against Florida State where they had surrendered a lead in any game. Whenever LSU had a lead, they never lost it before this. LSU lost the lead like 5 or 6 times in this game and continued to respond every damn time. I mean, good lord. I'm just like spent, aren't you? Like I feel like I'm just like emotionally spent with the players. Devonka De Silva, this win is your birthday gift, Lon. This is these players saying we have no room for Alabama. Alabama's dynasty is done. Now we're going to start the LSU Tigers dynasty, the one that Nick Saban could have had at LSU, and the one that we're going to have with Brian Kelly. Because this staff, I've seen it with my own eyes, they're for real. Natalie Vittori says, out of all YouTubers, you was the only one that predicted that LSU was going to win this game. And I didn't do it because I was, LSU, I'm going to be a homer. No, no. I predicted that Florida would beat LSU. Not Florida State. I predicted LSU would beat Florida State, but I predicted that Florida would beat LSU. But I predicted LSU would go 9-3 before this season, Natalie, because I felt like not only was the SEC, I felt like more, maybe not weaker would be the word, but more competitive. I didn't feel like Alabama and Georgia had such a stranglehold on it this season. It's turned out to be more or less kind of true. I felt like LSU were actually a lot better than people thought, especially when maybe if the coaches didn't want to play Harold Perkins at first, maybe if they didn't want to throw the ball to Kayshawn Booty at first or throw it to Malik Neighbors or whatever, they finally get around to it, and look what happens. And when Jaden Daniels finally puts it all together, look what happens. And I asked Matt Moscona, who came on our channel, our show, our site, maybe about 2 months ago, and it was right before LSU were about to play Mississippi State. And I asked him, is Jaden Daniels a Heisman candidate? And he laughed off the question. Well, yeah, maybe the question was dumb at the time, but it's not dumb anymore. It's not dumb anymore. And anytime anyone said about anything about LSU winning more than 8 games, people scoffed, people mocked, said you were a homer, whatever. I'm merely looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the opponents, and I'm thinking, yeah, LSU should beat Brian Harson's Auburn. Yeah, LSU should beat Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M. I never bought any of the A&M hype. I don't know how anybody did. I think Phil Steele had them like in the college football playoff or something. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to pummel the water because I'm like about to have like a sore throat or something. Like, wow. Whew. Whew. Penn Star to Ryder says, "That's my cousin Rick's. Not too heavy on him." What? That's my cousin Rick's. Not too heavy. I don't know what you mean. I really don't know what you mean. Clarify that, please, because I want to know what you mean, but I don't know what you mean. James Duhon says, "How about this freshman class, man? This freshman class. I said it when this 2022 class was put together. You can go back and read the articles. You can go back and read the articles. I said when this freshman class was put together that the nucleus of this unit would deliver a national championship to LSU. I thought that'd probably be like Walker Howard, maybe junior Will Campbell, like things like something like that. They're doing this shit now. Sorry, Jaden Daniels is showing them how to win and to compete against the best right now. You had Colin Hurley in the house, Ryan Yates in the house, Desmond Ricks in the house, Javion Toviano in the house. You think they weren't paying attention to this game? You think every recruit in America wasn't paying attention to this game? They just saw the baton being tossed to Baton Rouge. Nick Saban, his reign is done at the top of college football. He can't get the message through to his players anymore. And then you see a coach like Brian Kelly, who is every word his players are salivating on it. The wisdom, the guidance. Nick Saban's just win at all costs. Brian Kelly wanted to graduate champions. Well, I think you're going to graduate some this season because they're looking like the best team in college football right now outside of Georgia. Name a team that is hotter right now than than Georgia and LSU. Maybe Oregon, I guess you could say. Oregon are looking really good. Yeah. Tennessee, they got exposed. They got ran out of the place. It looks like they might not be in the picture anymore. That was not even a competitive game at all against Georgia. I knew that game was over once Georgia scored a second touchdown. Everyone, it seemed, did. Um, Comparisons to the 2019 LSU team, shut up. Shut up. Just shut up, Tennessee fans. And now you see what is possible with Brian Kelly at LSU. Everyone is focusing on all these other teams, all these other storylines, all these other programs, all the other players. And then you have LSU led by a lot of these freshmen and then a lot of these transfers showing out collectively together. And this team just have fun doing this together. They have fun competing together. They even had fun losing together when they lost those two games. They have fun being together. That's why this win was possible because they had to dig deep consistently, constantly against the tide. Swim against the tide, fight against the tide, and in the end, conquer and roll that tide on out the Gulf. Seriously, bury the tide. Adrian Perkins, AD, so my man, you were 2 points off my. Everyone laughed at that prediction. I know they did. Well, this is kind of what I thought was going to happen. LSU were going to win this game, and they were going to do it like that with pressure, with passing the game a little bit, and with the running game. And notice we had like 37 yards at half and stuff like that, rushing the ball, where we just stayed patient in the running game, and in the end ran for 185 yards on Alabama. Outrushed Alabama. They had 137. We couldn't completely stop Jahmyr Gibbs, but we did limit the dude. Yeah, he had 150 yards, but 0 touchdowns. A long run of a long catch of 14 and then a long run of 34. That was really explosive. Bryce Young threw for 51 attempts tonight. That just rings of desperation. Desperately trying to get that passing game going against LSU's DBs, just trying to get in rhythm. And Bryce Young was not seeing the field well tonight. Robert Steeples, Kerry Cooks absolutely called an unbelievable game tonight. An unbelievable game. I'm speechless. Sorry, talking to a coach right now from LSU. Holy shit. Holy shit, guys. Gals. Anyone who's watching, like, this is what the game can do to you. I mean, I'm feeling it all through my body. Wow. And we're not even playing in this game. Imagine what those players are feeling right now. And Makai Wingo's all texting and doing all this stuff. It's like Makai is a machine. I mean, the dude played every snap tonight, and then he's all just texting and stuff. I mean, like, God, he is in such unbelievable physical condition, Makai Wingo. I just cannot believe it. And he just never seems to get hurt. He never seems to be troubled by anything. He always just gets up and is just like I just love the dude. He's just a badass, and just you know this offense. Mike Denbrock is probably not going to get too much credit for this game or whatever. I feel like Mike Denbrock called a fantastic game tonight. I feel like he absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of big plays Jaden Daniels missed tonight in the passing game too. But I feel down the stretch in the crunch, Mike Denbrock called a badass game against Alabama, and he did when he played for it's not played for when he coached for Cincinnati just last year. But Cincinnati did not have the players to execute against Alabama. Here we go. Mike Denbrock doesn't have the ability to coach in the SEC. That's what I kept hearing from people even a few weeks ago. Mike Denbrock isn't an SEC offensive coordinator. Hmm. And all the people telling me, even some really big diehard fans and stuff, people telling me LSU were going to only win 3 games this year after Florida State. Even after Auburn, LSU are only going to win 5 games this year. All the LSU fans wondering if they should fire Kelly. All the LSU fans who were doubting Brad Davis. All the LSU fans who were just on Kayshawn Booty like crazy, saying he's not a leader, he's selfish. This is why you do not give up on these young men, especially when they're all aligned, going in the same direction. If you're really a fan, you got to weather the storm. That's what sports is about. LSU just had 2 hideous years, but there was glimmers of hope even in that 2021 Alabama game where we shut them down to 20 points, and we basically did this same thing to Bryce Young, but then he squeaked out a win. Tonight, this is the first time Nick Saban's lost in Death Valley since 2010. He's only lost in Death Valley once. Only once. Brian Kelly pulled that off. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What the heck? Wait, let's start with Biggie Bull's first comment. BK got some nuts, Odyssey. They scared the shit out of me on that last play. And why ain't you crying yet, Odyssey? All the pain of losing last second games to Alabama. Give me some tears, bro. Man, um, we started the live stream and just yeah, started the live stream after definitely waves of intense emotion. Um, not tears, but like my body was like about to explode. Like just like what the fuck is going on? Oh my god. What I exactly was hoping and said, you know what? I'm going to predict this because I know these players can deliver this and this team can do this. This coaching staff can do this. And Alabama, this is just not the same Alabama teams that were ruthless and used to really just be like assassins with LSU. Every little mistake, every little refereeing decision that went against LSU would be maximized times 1,000 because Alabama would always take such advantage of these problems, of these issues, these mistakes. Tonight, LSU were taking advantage of Alabama's. How many penalties did Alabama have? Like Jesus, 9 penalties. It wasn't 19. And for all the talk of LSU are going to have to play a perfect game to beat Alabama. They're going to have to play perfect. They have to play perfect. No, they didn't. And that shows you how good this team is and how wrong people have been about this team. They're thinking, oh well, Brian Kelly, this is just the first year. We'll get in here and maybe work our way back when they win the national championship in 4 years or whatever. No, they're ready to do this right now. And who's going to stop LSU? Georgia Georgia's the only team I think that can beat LSU right now, right? Who could beat LSU out there? Like we are really at the point where we need to ask that question. LSU have now taken Alabama's place, and you need to understand that and get that through your head. LSU are not an underdog anymore. LSU are not, you know, in the room under the stairs like Harry Potter at the Dursley residence or something. LSU are now king of the castle. LSU are now back on top of college football. Georgia may be reigning national champions, and they may have done what they just did to Tennessee, and that was fantastic. Ohio State, could Ohio State do that? Could Ohio State do that? Could Michigan do that? Could Michigan beat Alabama like LSU just did tonight? Could Ohio State beat Alabama like LSU just did tonight? Winning 21-7 or whatever against Northwestern. Yeah, Northwestern, Ohio State. I mean, what a great schedule from Ohio State. Yeah, make them number 2 in the country. Hey, I'll gladly play that team. I'll gladly bet on LSU in that college football playoff against Ohio State. Gladly. Give me Ohio State tomorrow with this LSU team. Well, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe schedule that a bit down the road because, I mean, this game was a very bruising, brutal, vicious affair. I said it was going to be the most violent game of the season. I think it lived up to that, but I think it was also just the best game of the season. I think this was obviously the best. Tennessee, Alabama was epic. It was a great game. This one was far better game. The drama, the intensity, the nerve-wracking madness. I just, I have, I am so like speechless and drained and like, ugh, like seeing double. Like this is crazy. I did take some acid during the game, so don't worry about that. But yeah, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Um, feel like I'm on an acid trip. I mean, my God, this is epic. LSU now are at the top of college football. Nick Saban is below Brian Kelly on the pecking order in 2022. That's how you need to get that through your head. LSU are now at the top of college football. And it feels so good. I feel like my head is going to like fucking explode right now. I feel like my head is gonna like totally explode. Like I am like, oh my God, that game going for two at the end there. Are you serious, Brian Kelly? I mean, I love it. I love it. Even if it didn't work out, I love it because if it we go kick PAT, how long is it going to continue until our defense wears down? We don't get a fourth down. We miss some play, and we lose a game in kind of a really disappointing way. This way, we went out on our terms. You know, whether we were going to lose to Alabama, we were going to lose ourselves. It wasn't going to be Alabama even beat LSU. It would be that LSU lost because they went for two and they didn't convert. But when you really seriously walk out there and just say, hey, Nick Saban, I'm going to beat you. Like literally, Brian Kelly everyone mocked him when he said, yeah, I come here to beat Nick Saban. It's like literally like me going into Sports Center and being like, yeah, I'm here to take Scott Van Pelt's job. And then like just doing it in your first year as an intern at Sports Center or whatever. Like that's what Brian Kelly just did at LSU. I mean, the gravity of what has just happened, I don't even think has really been reaching the people yet. LSU are now on top of the college football world, and I cannot stop smiling about that. I the grit, the determination. I mean, we wrote like what 5, 6 previews on this damn game. And it turns out to be the game that will define the Brian Kelly era. This is where it will all begin. This is where you will look back and say, this is where it started. Everybody, I feel like I'm about to pass out. I feel like I have a huge raging migraine. Um, I might come back on later if I'm probably not going to be asleep. You'll probably all be awake. I'm not making any sense at this point. I am like, I feel like my head's been hit by BJ Ojolari when I'm like trying to go for a first down or something, like with a sledgehammer. I mean, are you fucking kidding me this game? The drama, the madness, it was all so beautiful. It was all so unbelievable. I cannot believe this. Thank you all for the amazing birthday wishes today. You made today a very awesome, very special day. I am a blessed person to have so many friends in my life. Thank you guys so much for today, and what a birthday present. LSU are back. And you can say that with confidence.